is Bart Wisniowski, CEO of Advisor Websites. Bart, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Bart, tell me just a little bit of background. We've spoken a couple of times before, but for those viewers not familiar with Advisor Websites, give me a brief overview about Advisor Websites and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Advisor Websites, what we do is we are the world champions of creating websites for financial advisors. We fight really hard to make sure that advisors have awesome websites. And that's all we focus on. All we do is websites. And there's a couple of things that I think make us really unique. Number one, customer success is extremely important to us. We spend a lot of time and energy making sure that our clients are extremely happy with the product and the service. And number two, the technology we're able to put out because of our focus on only websites, I think is really, really cool and very, very useful. So,
Let's see. Are you hearing double speak with feedback with your conversation?
no, it's perfect on my end here, I think.
Okay, it's my end, so hopefully it's coming through sure. All right.
I
Well,
can hear
then
you
I'll
just fine.
jump. All right, I'll jump into the next question because it's a little distracting for me. So here we go. What's that one big opportunity you're seeing among clients and prospects that they're not taking advantage of with respect to their current websites today? What's that one opportunity they can really improve?
Yeah, at this point in time, I'd say probably the biggest trend and the biggest opportunity would be to do with mobile website considerations. Um, Based on all the clients and prospects that we work with, we are noticing that a very significant amount of them don't take into consideration at this point in time a mobile strategy. It's estimated that by 2014, mobile browsing is going to overtake traditional browsing, so more people are going to be accessing information on their cell phones or their iPads. So I think if there was one thing that I would really, really look to make sure that I've got taken care of moving forward as an advisor with the website would definitely be taking a mobile sort of approach to it as well. So make sure that any website presence that you have currently is also mobile friendly and with that in mind.
Yeah, so I've got my iPad right here. I've got Twitter up, but I do a ton of browsing on websites.
Yeah.
How can you do some customization with respect to tablet layouts and smartphone layouts? Are you able to customize the layout depending on the device that comes and visits the site?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a large number of customization that's available. Everything right now, that one of the things we're releasing in the next couple of weeks is, things like the colors that you want for, your what it appears like on your iPhone or your iPad. So there is a large number of customization you do. When it comes to mobile sites versus traditional sites, if I were to oversimplify it, I think what you're doing is you're stripping out a lot of unnecessary content. So you're taking out a lot of the images, you're taking out a lot of the distractions because you have a really small real estate or to work with on an iPad or an iPhone. So you really got to narrow down your message and make sure that in that 3-inch window you can say everything that you want to say and make it easy for them to browse and navigate. So I would say the navigation piece and large fonts and large calls to action are one of the biggest keys.
Excellent. Now, something we're trying to do today is taking advantage of video in addition to other types of multimedia. So, what kind of impact have you seen with respect to video and podcast information that advisors are using? What kind of impact are you seeing in terms of perhaps sign-up rates on an advisor's newsletter, or maybe forms that are filled out for prospects reaching out to advisor? Does this multimedia content really improve that conversion rate, if you will?
I believe so, and this is my personal opinion, but here's why I base it. So we are seeing an increased amount of usage of things like video and multimedia content. Some of the things and some of the data that I have available to me is things like how long a person would stay on a website. We're noticing that people with multimedia content and more engaging type of content will typically stay a little bit longer on a website that might have something along those lines that's entertaining. So that's one of the positive elements that I'm seeing. You can definitely include calls to actions and get people to do things and ask for sign up for my newsletter below, or do things of that nature, which I think are a little bit more human, as you would say, when you're using this type of content.
So if I were to ask you, well, I am going to ask you, if there was one thing an advisor could add to their website to improve its visibility or to improve the impact of content on that, what would that one thing you would recommend advisors add to their website right now?
You know what? I think that's maybe a little bit of a there isn't one thing. I don't think that everybody would use. I think every website is a little bit different. So I would really have to take it back to what are the goals and objectives of that advisor and for having a website.
Mm-hmm.
So if an advisor wants to establish instant credibility with prospects, they might be good with just having a nice little banner. If somebody wants to generate newsletter signups through their website, maybe they'll put something like a video clip saying, introducing the advisor and saying, for great benefit and great information, please sign up for the newsletter below. So it all depends on what you're trying to accomplish with your website, whether it's establishing credibility or generating leads or whatever it is. And then that would determine the type of content you might want to put on that website to make it more engaging for your audience and for what you're trying to achieve online.
All right. Well, that's a good answer. I was hoping you would say advisors should have video, but I'm open to the customization and the doing something that's unique to that advisor and to that advisory firm that speaks to their specific audience.
Yeah, the video's good. Like, don't get me wrong. I would use it. It may not be for everyone. Like everybody, a lot of people are camera shy, but it's getting better and better and a lot easier and easier these days to shoot, decent quality video.
Right, right. Now, on to my next question. The reason that I decided to host this broadcast with you is you've actually announced a number of new integrations and new partnerships with a variety of other service providers and vendors. I wanted to invite you on to speak about some of those new integrations that you have. So let's get started off with that first integration that you're really excited about.
Yeah, for sure. So before I speak about that, I just wanted to sort of mention that partners are extremely important in our business. Again, because all we do is websites, there's a lot of other really good complementary services an advisor might need, a CRM, file sharing, whatever it is. So we've always gone after having very good relationships with other service providers, and we listen to our clients to say, what are good service providers. We read about the industry quite a bit. So again, partners are extremely important to us, and we've always tried to work close with them. And I guess probably the best thing is, now that we're having better and better relationships with more and more partners, we're getting some integration. So there's been a couple of really cool integrations we've just launched in the last few months. One of them being the marketing library with Peter Montoya's group. So, a lot of advisors might want to have additional content or market data. If they have that subscription through marketing library, it's really easy through our dashboard and their dashboard to just automatically populate content within their website. And in the last 2 months that we've had it, we've received very, very good feedback from our clients on that integration.
So let me interrupt you right there with a question about that marketing library. So as I understand it, a lot of that, or all of that content is compliance approved. It's already been through the compliance approval process. So in terms of advisors sharing it and posting it to their website, they're really going to have a streamlined process that when they want to turn that around and post that publicly for their visitors to see. And now they can do it through a turnkey integration with advisor websites, right?
Exactly. They have to check with their compliance department first, but yes, that's exactly how it works, and that's why they really like that whole turnkey solution component of it.
Excellent. Easy. Excellent. So what's up next after the marketing library?
So marketing library we did one with ShareFile, so that's pretty cool. If you're doing sharing documents with your clients, we've built it into the dashboard as well, where you can enable that. A lot of advisors will make their website as a hub, so they might add on things like additional content, add on things like file sharing or CRM. So the ShareFile piece allows you to add a nice share filing component to your web presence. A lot of times when you share a document with your client, you might say, go to my website, bartwisniowski.com, and just log into the share file link right through there. So it's easy for your clients to remember that and continue having that relationship with you online. So
Excellent.
that's one we did. Right now, we're pretty excited. We are working with Redtail on an integration. We're going to be doing a lot more work when it comes to lead generation right through the websites. So we are in the process of getting a web to lead form sorted out for our clients. So what
All right.
happens?
Now let me interrupt you right there. The lead generation. I don't know that all the advisors that are watching this are completely familiar with the concept of
Yeah.
lead generation through website content.
Perfect. Okay, so some of the clients we work with, one of the goals they might have is, I want more leads, I want more business, and I want my website to support me that way. So yeah, I'm just going to give you one example. One example might be to offer them, offer your audience online some very useful information. So let's say I'm an advisor and my target market is doctors. So what you might do is you might create, 1-2 page PDF saying the 10 things you must consider as a doctor when planning for your retirement. So something very specific and something very direct, and make that really available on your website. And if I'm a doctor and I'm searching your website, and I can say, well, that pretty much applies to me. I'd like to see what this thing says. You ask that visitor to fill in their first name, last name, email address, and phone number. And as soon as they fill that out and hit submit, then they would get that very targeted content. So the user has very useful content.
Google Plus Hangouts is free. But anyway, I want you to finish your thought on the lead generation where visitors sign up and they get something for free, and that's a way that advisors can get contact
Yeah,
information for leads.
for sure. So, I mean, the case scenario was that, I'm a doctor, and as an advisor, I'm putting, 10 ways that doctors can retire better or something along those lines. I want to download that content, and basically what I would do as the doctor, I would put in my first name, last name, my email address, and my phone number. When I hit submit, then that content would be delivered to me. But me as the advisor, I would also have access to the first name, last name, email address, and phone number. And that's a tremendous lead to have. And you're generating leads that way. You got to make sure that this person's not on the do not call list. But you can call that prospect 2 days later or 1 day later, whatever it is, and say, dear Dr. Wisniowski, what did you think of that article on how to retire as a doctor? And all of a sudden, that they're very highly targeted. They want this information, and you can see if you can turn it into something beyond that. So that's kind of lead generation that we're sort of introducing within our product, and it's getting a lot of good feedback. So.
Good. So you're also talking about some integrations with CRM. You mentioned Redtail, I believe, before we were cut off. So how are you using the concept of lead generation with a CRM integration?
Yeah, so the concept that we're currently working on and hopefully releasing very soon here is that, if somebody does fill out one of those web to lead forms, for example, what that would do is that would add that lead right into the advisor's CRM, and it would kick off of whatever workflow you have assigned to it. So maybe, a follow-up call or a series of emails or whatever that is. But again, it continues on that automation, making the advisor, a little bit, it gives them more time to do other things, which is growing their business and not having to worry about technology as much.
Yeah, so really, you've taken just the website concept, and now with these partnerships and integrations, now you're adding on a lot of these value add opportunities that really advisors can get a lot more for the dollars that they spend on websites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So for those viewers watching in real time or those that watch the feed on YouTube after the fact, where can they get more information about advisor websites? And tell me if you offer a free trial.
Yeah, absolutely. So first place to start would be our website, www.advisorwebsites.com. We do offer a free 30-day trial, so you get to actually try this thing, see if you like it, see if you like our customer success team, because I think that's sort of one of our biggest selling features. See if you like working with us. And if anybody wants to contact me directly, my email address is bart@advisorwebsites.com.
Great, Bart. So just coming up on about 15 minutes of our total broadcast. So I thank you very much for attending and joining me on this session to help educate advisors about things like lead generation and give them some education on the opportunities they have with their current website and what they're thinking about maybe in 2013 with some website additions on how they can have better outreach and more effective outreach to prospects and clients.
Excellent. Thanks so much for having me. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Bart. And everyone else attending, thank you much for attending. Be sure you can always contact me if you want to see specific guests or have specific services highlighted. Send me a message at Bill Winterberg on Twitter or email me at bill@fppad.com. Bart, thanks again for joining me, and everyone have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.